Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of HR Mining with the Rules. After a huge demand to cover health and wellness, I decided to call Dr. Steve again. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me back as well. It was great last time, and hopefully we'll have another great session today as well.
Exactly. So, Doctor, as you all know, he's working as a chiropractor in Canadian Medical Center in Abu Dhabi, as well as he is a medicine functional practitioner. So, doctor, since so many people are going into lockdown again and the cases are rising, how they can maintain their overall health and wellness at this moment?
Yeah, I mean, we touched on this last time, but I think it's even more relevant now because, as you say, the situation in a lot of countries across, North America, certainly Europe, here in the Middle East, I know, case numbers are getting a lot higher. So I think it's really important for people to realize that there is a lot actually in their control that they can be doing, not just for their health and well-being, now during the lockdown, so it kind of keeps them healthy and keeps them active, but also for the future as well. So just talking about what they can do right now to help in the meantime, I think the first thing, the most important thing is to get a daily routine going. If we're suddenly told by our government, right, you're in lockdown, you're not going to work, kids are not going to school, it's really too easy to become really lazy, just watch Netflix all day, put the kids on the iPad. You become really lazy. It's very bad for your health on all levels. It's very bad for your mental health. Exactly. And your future health as well. Like you're not just damaging your present health, it's going to have this long-term effects to things as well in the long term. So I would say get a daily routine. So make sure you're getting out for some regular exercise each day, which I think we'll talk about a bit later in a bit more detail about the exercise. Doing things as a family, maintaining some kind of social contact as best you can, even if you can't necessarily meet others. Do things as a family. If the rules in your area are that you can go and exercise with a friend, try and do that. Just so you're keeping that kind of social contact going as well. Diet is another area that most people let slip again during lockdown. We'll get on the phone, we'll phone for Domino's, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, deliveries. It's too easy. And again, what's that doing to our bodies? We're not fueling health, we're fueling sickness with those sorts of food. It's going to affect what's going on up here. It affects our stomach. And again, it's going to have that long-term effect as well. And ultimately, it's actually going to negatively affect our immunity, which, at this time, don't we all want to be boosting our immunity? And why be filling our bodies with all this junk, which is just going to feed, like I said, it's going to feed the sickness and not feed the health. The last thing, and again, this is something I feel very passionate about, and I think I mentioned it last time on our session, is just being very mindful of what you're letting into your world. Like, don't spend all day, don't have the news on in the background 24 hours a day on the TV. Don't be scrolling through channels on your iPad and social media. The news does its job, but it's not always presenting things that are relevant to us. It's presenting it in a very out of context way. We're bombarded with figures, death rates, cases, and it doesn't mean anything to us. They're presenting it in a very abstract way, really. And all it does is just create this sort of fear cycle in our body. Again, that lowers our immune system. It affects our mental health, a lot of fear and anxiety associated with that. So that is something I feel passionately about. And I talk to a lot of my patients about just switching off the news, be mindful of your social media contacts, and use social media in a positive way, to keep in contact with friends and family, interact with people in a positive way.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor. So, Doctor, I would like to know, as sunlight exposure is very important for human body, and now people are in the lockdown, how they can manage to get that vitamin D levels or, sunlight exposure? What is the best way?
Yeah. So it depends where you live. Like, it's certainly Northern Hemisphere, they're not going to be getting enough sun. Even if it's a sunny day outside, the sun is just too low in the sky for us to be getting sufficient vitamin D. So I would say people in Europe, particularly Northern Europe, North America, they should be taking a supplement. I can't recommend on levels because it's kind of different person to person, but you should definitely look into getting a supplement if you live in a a colder climate. We're quite lucky here in the Middle East, and even in winter we do have good levels of sunlight, and that's by far the best way to get your vitamin D levels optimized is to get outside in the sun.
Doctor, what is the best time to get the sunlight exposure? Is it in the morning?
So you want to go out when the sun's reasonably high. I mean, generally the advice is to avoid direct sun between 11 and 3, because that's when the sun's at its highest. The UV rays are at their kind of most intense. There's a bit of controversy regarding sunlight. A lot of us have been educated to think we need to avoid the sun, it's bad for us, but it's really not. We need sun exposure. We shouldn't be getting to the stage where we're turning red, where we're actually starting to get burnt, because that is damaging. But to actually get direct sunlight on our skin, often I tell people actually, have half an hour a day without any sunscreen on, late morning, it's gone mid to late afternoon. And that, if you can do that sort of most days in the week, then that's going to give you sort of optimum levels. And I think it's good that you asked this question, because I think it really is one of the best ways and the easiest ways that people.
Yeah.
Sorry. It can kind of boost their immunity and overall health. Like, the vitamin D is such an important immune modulator, and we're not told about it. We're not educated about it. Or it's something so fundamental to me that people people that should be taking supplements should be given them for free by the government. I think people in the UK should be just handed out vitamin D. Same in North America. We should be getting education about getting out into the sunlight, exposing our skins to the sunlight, because there's so much evidence to say how beneficial it is to our immune system, and particularly how our bodies fight off viruses in general. I'm not sure about the evidence, particularly with the current situation of vitamin D, but I know historically with viruses in general, optimum vitamin D levels do mean that people fight off viruses much, much better. And their symptoms are a lot less, and usually if they do become ill, their course of illness is much shorter. So vitamin D it's massively important. So if you can, get tested, get your levels checked. Optimum is usually about 50 to 80 nanograms per milliliter. So check with your doctor. If you can get tested, it's the best way to do so. And then if you need to kind of supplement to bring it back up, then you can do so from there.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So, Doctor, how functional medicine can help restore balance and function to the body? Hello?
Hi, sorry, Aruj, you broke up then. Just repeat that question, please.
So, Doctor, how functional medicine can help restore balance and function to the body?
Sure. So firstly, kind of almost taking a step before that question, a lot of people ask me what functional medicine does and what it treats. And it's not really a treatment in the traditional sense. Traditionally we understand that a treatment is we have a disease or we have a symptom, we go and see the doctor, they give us a pill or a treatment, and the outcome is a reduction in our symptoms. Functional medicine goes a big layer deeper than that and looks to really understand what the dis-ease in the body is, what's come out of balance, what caused that problem, what's causing the underlying symptoms, and then we can look to understand why that's happened in the body. Is it something that, for example, the person's eating that they shouldn't be eating? Are they deficient in a certain vitamin? Are they toxic in something in their bodies? Is their digestion not working efficiently, so they're not able to actually get the nutrition from their food? There's so many layers that we can look at with the functional medicine. And once we understand what that imbalance is, we can then use I personally use very natural approaches to then work to get the body back into balance. And by doing that, then people notice that, symptoms reduce, they get this increased vitality, increased energy in their body. So that's very much how it works. It goes so much deeper than a traditional treatment, in that we're not really treating things as such, but it's just understanding what's the problem in the body, what's come out of balance, and we look to then rebalance that with lifestyle, diet, nutrition, certain supplements. Detoxification might sometimes be necessary. people.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Doctor, I'm very interested to know how body's own healing mechanism works.
And I think that's a fantastic question, because we often forget that. And I always say the simplest example, and even kids can understand this, is, what happens if we have a cut on our finger? It heals itself, doesn't it? Give it a few days,
Yeah.
stop anything getting in there, stop it getting dirty, stop it getting irritated. It heals itself after a few days. So we've got this as chiropractors in natural health particularly, we really understand this fundamental basis that the body, we are designed to heal ourselves. Often we don't, and if there's some underlying issue that's stopping that normal healing process, that's when we start to get kind of diseases coming about. So again, with functional medicine, with kind of natural approaches to health, we look to understand what's stopping that normal healing process and look to facilitate that. And just kind of going a level deeper into this question, I think it's really important for people to understand, especially with this current situation, that there is loads that we can be doing for our own health and our own well-being, and ultimately for our own immune system. I think a lot of us, particularly coming back to the media, we're almost just miseducated, that we're just kind of sitting here and we're victims to all of these pathogens in our environment, and we forget about our bodies. We've been around for millennia, and our immune systems have developed, and actually, as a human race, we've survived so many, onslaughts of different types of pathogens over the years. And it's really important that we have amazing immune systems, and we can either be boosting our immune systems or reducing our immune systems depending on what we do each day. If we're choosing to be a couch potato, like, eating Dominoes all day, our immune system is going to go down. But if we're optimizing our vitamin D, we're keeping that social contact, we're keeping positive, we're doing meditation, we're going out for exercise, we're taking certain supplements that we need to take, that's going to really improve our immune system. It's going to mean that we're in a much better position, that if something does come our way, we're going to fight it off and stand in a better situation for that. And I think this should be a wake-up call for everybody. We're always going to have these things as a human race. We're always going to have these sort of threats from a whether it's a bacteria or a virus, and let's just treat this as a wake-up call. Let's get our bodies as healthy as possible, so that we can really, we don't have to necessarily worry so much the next time.
Doctor, can you please explain a little bit more about what is the difference between meditation and mindfulness? Most of the people don't know about it. So, bit more details.
Meditation.
Difference between meditation and mindfulness.
Yeah. Okay. So meditation is more of your traditional, people always think of when we're meditating, we sit cross-legged, we have our eyes closed, and
yoga posture.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes people do like a breathing meditation. It can be visualization. It can be a guided meditation, on an app or something like that. Mindfulness incorporates meditation, but mindfulness is something that we aim to keep through the whole day. So meditation traditionally is when we're doing our, whether it's 10 minutes in the morning or, half an hour in the evening, is the thing that we're doing. But the idea of that meditation is actually to practice mindfulness. So it's a way of practicing to become more present that we can then carry through the day. So it's about being present. It's about being aware of the present moment, aware of certain thoughts that are kind of going through our heads, our environment, these sorts of things. And I think it's so important at the present moment, with what's going on now, but it's something that people could use this, maybe they have a bit of extra time on their hands to practice a little bit of meditation and look into mindfulness and what it means and how they can practice it. So again, they can then sort of carry this on into the future.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So, Doctor, as we all know, it's very normal to become couch potato at this time. How people can keep a healthy lifestyle and how they can motivate themselves to have, that exercising routine regularly.
I mean, you said it's routine, and it's really getting that daily routine, like I said at the beginning, you'll have to push yourself to start with for the first few days, especially if you're used to, just lazily getting up, late in the morning. You go and plonk yourself on the sofa, you switch Netflix on. If you're in that habit, it's going to be hard to get out of it. But what I would do is pick just one thing, and decide that you're going to get up and then you're going to go for a 20-minute walk outside, or you're going to do 20 minutes of yoga. Pick something very small, very manageable. And what I find with people is when they pick one thing and they stick to it, this has this like knock-on effect through your whole life. So if you start to exercise, you'll find that then you'll start to eat healthier. You'll start to feel more positive. You'll start to talk more positive. It has this knock-on effect through your whole life. So pick one thing, make it very manageable. Don't say, I'm going to go to the gym 7 times a week for an hour, or I'm going to meditate for 2 hours a morning. If that's not something that you're used to, pick something very small and kind of stick with it and go from there. And it will have this kind of very knock-on effect through the body. So I think probably exercise is a really good place to start. Another way is diet. If you can, I always say try and get your diet, 80 to 90% right. And what I mean by right is sort of clean, home cooking, lots of veggies, good quality protein, healthy fats, salads, a little bit of fruit.
Yeah.
So try and have most days, 5 or 6 days in the week where you're really clean, and then allow yourself, a burger and fries, a pizza at the weekend, something like that. And if you can get that balance right, again, you'll feel so much better in your body. You'll notice that your energy levels increase. You'll feel more vitality, more kind of radiance from your body, and then you'll be more inclined to get going on other things in your life. So I'd say, just coming back to your question, pick one thing, make it small and manageable, and then you can kind of progress each week as it gets sort of easier and easier.
I think it's a very good idea, because when you think it's only 20 minutes, it's very easy to do. But when you think it's 1 hour, everybody gets, a little bit like, what? We cannot do. Very nice.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for being here and giving us all these insights. It's a pleasure to have you again on the session.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm always happy to be here and share some of my sort of knowledge and passions, and just help to educate people in a slightly different way to what they're used to hearing. So yeah, great to have me again. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, Doctor. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Cheers.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Doctor. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.